are officially in Hispanic and Latin American Heritage Month, and we highlight and recognize the many contributions of Latinos in our area. So what a perfect time to introduce you to Maria Portilla. She's the Hispanic liaison in the town of Greenburgh in Westchester County. She was appointed by the town supervisor a year ago to help address the needs of the growing Hispanic community there. We spoke with Maria about her role, her responsibilities, and her efforts to help Latinos in Greenburgh. Welcome to Tiempo, Maria Portilla. ¿Cómo estamos?
Muy bien, gracias. Gracias por la invitación.
Oh, of course. Such a pleasure to have you on the show. We know your boss, the town super there in Greenburgh, Mr. Paul Feiner. I've had the pleasure of interviewing Paul many times for different news stories. But I have a question for you as the special advisor and liaison to the community there in Greenburgh. Maria, is this something that Paul asked you to do, or is this something that you went to Paul, the town super, and said, we need this?
Actually, last year when Paul was running for re-election, he requested a Zoom meeting with Hispanic Democrats of Westchester, which I am a member from, and he requested a meeting with the members that live in Elmsford. So I remember that during the meeting, I suggested, the creation of a program specifically for Hispanic residents in Greenburgh. So it happens that Paul won the election, and I addressed immediately, and I said, well, it was one of your plans, and you know what, here I am.
Yes, the time to put your money where your mouth is and make it happen. So now you are the liaison to the Hispanic community. So what is it that you do? What is your role?
My role is assist the families that are in need of getting information, of getting services, of getting questions to be answered, addressing their concerns,
okay.
Clarifying their doubts, providing education, etc.
Wow, it's a big laundry list. Okay, let's get more specific. Por ejemplo, what's a typical question or concern that some Latino family in Greenburgh might have that they would come to you?
They will come to me if they need baby formula, if they need referrals for food pantries. They will come to me for immigration questions, like, I recently assisted a lady that came with her 10-month-old grandson to get baby formula, and it happens that through the assessment, it came up that she was also looking somebody to assist her to replace the green card.
So your position, Maria, is volunteer, correct?
It's volunteer, correct.
Yes. So how many hours are you putting in this volunteering effort? I mean, do you have office hours?
Officially, I'm in the office every Tuesday from 12 to 5. That's from day one, from the day that Paul started supporting my idea and my project.
And Maria, are there many Latinos in Greenburgh?
Actually, in 2019, the Latino residents in Greenburgh were 13%. By now, are 16%.
And where are those Latinos coming from?
More likely, the highest population that we have in Greenburgh are coming from Ecuador, Ecuador, Peru, Santo Domingo. We have also residents from Puerto Rico, some Puerto Ricans.
Let's talk a little bit about Maria Portilla and your background. You're from Peru, ¿verdad?
I'm from Cusco, Peru, yes.
Okay, but professionally you have not one, but 2 master's degrees, correct?
My first master's degree I have in psychology. I completed my studies in psychology in Lima, and I graduated as a licensed psychologist. And when I came to the United States, I got a regional equivalence, and I was awarded with a master's degree in arts. And then I follow up because I always say, and I that's part of my legacy for my family too. If you are in America, you need to get a degree.
That's something that we preach here on Tiempo quite regularly, Maria. Education. Education is the key for everyone, in particular for Latinos, especially if you want to do better, perhaps financially, than your parents were doing. Education is paramount. So,
and besides the monetary thing or material thing, whatever you bring in your head, you bring it everywhere you go. You
Yes.
cannot carry your house, you cannot carry your cars or your properties, you know, but your knowledge you carry everywhere you go.
Oh, I love that. All right, sit tight. When we come back, I want to ask you a little bit more questions about some of the other things that you do and you offer. And I'm wondering if you've already had inquiries, or maybe the town super has had inquiries from other suburban communities with large Latino populations that might be interested in copying what you're doing there in Greenburgh. We'll talk about that when we come back on Tiempo. Maria Portilla, we continue our conversation. Such a pleasure to chat with you, the special advisor and liaison to the town supervisor there in the Hispanic community of Greenburgh, or the Hispanic community in the town of Greenburgh, a growing community there. We've talked a little bit about your educational background, but I also want to be sure that you mention to everyone, you've been a part of the Greenburgh community for what, more than 2 decades, right?
21 years, yes.
Wow. Before you got into this role on a volunteer basis, your professional work was as a caseworker for the county, right? Within the Department of Social Services?
Correct.
Yes.
Senior social caseworker.
And Maria, how has that background helped you in doing what you're now doing on a volunteer basis?
Definitely the experience that I gained through my professional career in dual diagnosis, in HIV, in substance abuse, in working with child protective services, investigating cases of sexual abuse, physical abuse, child fatalities, of course, naturally made me move to have a toolbox which I utilize.
I would guess you've got a rather substantial list of resources and contacts and people who you can call en un momentito and get a quick answer to something that perhaps you didn't know, that you can find a response rather quickly.
And some of them are also part of the program as volunteers. They are donating their time when it's needed.
Maria, I'm wondering if you or the town super there in Greenburgh have heard from other municipalities in Westchester, Putnam, Rockland counties that also have a rather substantial Latino population and are wondering perhaps as to whether they should have their own Hispanic community liaison.
I am currently in conversations with, I don't want to mention yet the town.
Okay, understood.
And unless it's, you know, so yeah, they are, because they are aware about the program that it was created here in Greenburgh on November 9th. Actually, it's going to be our anniversary. Yeah, I'm in conversations with them to try to set up an office in this particular town.
Wow.
And also my request through your program will be if somebody can, if somebody wants to be guy or wants to talk with me about that anywhere, because my abuelita always say, se hace el bien sin mirar a quién. It doesn't matter if they are only living in Greenburgh. Everybody is welcome to the program.
This is a two-way street. It's not always you helping Latinos, but Latinos, I would argue, should increase their community involvement in the town that they live to make sure that they're connected with all that's going on. Is that something that you preach to people who come into your office?
I do that. However, on the other hand, I truly understand that the family dynamic sometimes is that not allow them. It's not because they don't want it. It's because they have time to do 2 jobs. To be at home when the kids are coming back from school. You know, to attend the husband and to do the shopping, to do the laundry, to do this, to do that, and even on Sunday they don't have time for themselves. So that's why the Hispanic community is really hard to outreach, and my program has been working on little by little. And little by little, I'm going to be accomplishing all the goals that I have.
Maria, continued success to you. Felicidades, congratulations on this position that you're doing, and thank you on behalf of the many Latinos there in Westchester County and in the town of Greenburgh who sometimes just need a helping hand from someone who speaks their language and knows where to go to get answers. I think what you're doing is tremendous, so mil gracias. And that wraps up this week's show. I'm Joe Torres. Thanks for spending part of your Sunday with us. We will see you next week for another edition of Tiempo.